everyone to the 1% Better podcast. Today we're here with my good friend Sam, where average Joes, investors, and business people get 1% better every single day. Sam, thanks for being here, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Or maybe meet you in here.
Yes.
I don't know how you say
Welcome to the office.
Yeah, we're in Dubuque, Iowa.
Yes.
We're in the headquarters here.
Yes,
Sam
gotcha.
Herrick. So
That's us.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun today. This is probably our 4th or 5th hour talking. It just went by like that.
It did.
So,
It's great.
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for making the trip. And
Yeah,
thanks for chatting biz with me.
for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Well, to just give us a walk through your story, kind of as early back as you want to start, and
Yeah.
still kind of where you are now and your insurance agency and
Yeah.
all the good stuff in between.
Absolutely. So I grew up here in Dubuque, where my office is at now, and from there I went to Iowa State after some great times in Dubuque growing up, great family and great support system. Met my wife at Iowa State, met some of my best friends there, developed a lot through working at the State Farm office for Mark Doyle there, who's a huge mentor, friend of mine. Had a wonderful time overall there. So I did all that. We got married. My wife Moa and I got married. We got pregnant with Charlotte, my now daughter, who's 3, and we were kind of freaking out, figuring out what we wanted to do. And essentially we decided that agency would be a great opportunity, and
Yeah.
I'd be happy to kind of share the craziness of how that went down.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is we figured we wanted to get into agency. So I did all the testing, like the series exams for investment stuff and preparation, business plan, did all of it. I got prepped and we moved back to Dubuque. We were getting ready to do the interview in May.
Mhm.
And then where it gets a little bit crazy is on May 4th, it's my birthday, we were ready to interview and I get a phone call.
Yeah.
And the sales leader let me know that the VP wasn't necessarily satisfied with my plan or the other guy's plan, didn't think that we were ready, and we were in a position where they declined the opportunity for us to interview.
Yeah.
So kind of this craziness of moving from Ames to Dubuque. I'm working virtually, I'm gonna have a kid in a month, I'm 24, I'm freaking out a little bit. So it was a lot of transition. So they gave me 30 days to come up with a new business plan and figure it all out, and so we did. So we interviewed like 10 or 15 new agents. I asked them how they do what they do. I asked them like what they struggle with, what their weaknesses are, and we just took the bull by the horns and we re-interviewed, which I didn't know this, but it would end up being the day that my daughter was born.
Wow.
So Charlotte was born in the middle of the night on June 1st of 2022, and then we interviewed at 10:30 that morning. They ended up offering me the opportunity at like 12:30ish,
Yeah.
2 or 3 hours later, and then it was just a sob story in the hospital, crying like a little baby. Just a lot of emotion, a lot of relief and gratitude.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting the offer, getting the opportunity to start my own agency here in Dubuque. It's been an absolute blast, and we started in January 2023, and here we are in November 25, just plugging along, trying to stay after it.
I love it. Can we back up a little bit?
Please.
So at what point, because I know you had worked some time at State Farm and Ames, at what point were you like, I want to get into the insurance business?
Yeah, so a few inspirations of mine were within my family. So there's some folks in Cedar Rapids and Chicago, and a few uncles and cousins that had just preached how great of an opportunity that it is. And I grew up just hearing stories from them and just kind of watching from afar. And I never really understood what they did. I just knew they were the insurance guys. They did the car insurance thing. I didn't know what that meant. But as I got into college, I did different internships where I was on fixed income. It's a $16 an hour internship, and no matter what kind of work you did, no matter what you produced or provided, you just get your $16. And after doing enough of that fixed income stuff, it made me realize I wanted more. I was seeking out maybe a little bit more risk for the reward to continue to work hard. So I had a great internship with a different company my sophomore year, where I saved the company a good amount of money, had a fun little project that I worked on with the team, and I still just got that $16 an hour. So that was kind of my breaking point. Man, like, we had a great summer, and it's continuing to be $16 an hour. Nothing's changing.
Yeah.
So that summer, my Uncle Doug was like saying, you gotta go look for Mark. You gotta call this Mark guy. So I reach out, Mark gives me an internship, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So my first auto policy, and I love every second of it. I love the thrill of picking up the phone. It sounds crazy, but I like the rejection. I like the success. I like the back and forth.
So you weren't, you never got your, like, that was your first sales job there.
Yep.
You never had any, like not emotional, but internal battles on, like, going back and forth, dealing with that rejection, picking up your first, because I remember my first phone call pretty intently. Like, how was that experience for you?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I love the fact that I control my own destiny.
Yeah.
I like that the number of dials that I made and the effort that I put in resulted into, you know, whatever income you'd want to make at that point. So no, of course there's good and bad within it. It's just the passion of I actually can control a little bit of my destiny, and I'm not fixed to a certain number from an income standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's what I would encourage any listeners is, can you put yourself in a role where your work and your effort dictates the result? And that's where it went really well, where I realized the more you do, the more you show up, the bigger the results, the bigger the numbers that can go along with that, and the bigger the impact that you can make on the community to get better protection, better service, better care for them and their family. You can find a lot of blind spots that they might not fight with their current agent or the current company if they don't have an agent. So that was where the passion came. So you work the fixed income job, you save the company some money, you make $16 an hour, to you're just an intern and you make $20 for selling someone a car insurance policy.
Yeah.
And that $20 meant more to me than any amount of money could have ever meant, because it was a sign of, man, there's a glass ceiling that I can bust through and hopefully make a really big impact for my future family.
Awesome.
So
walk me through a little bit that first sales position. Was that when you kind of realized the personal development aspect, or have you always been into, you know, I know you're a big reader. Have you always been into reading, or when was it like, hey, I need to work on myself a little bit to get to that next level? What was that process for you look like?
I was always, I would say, a little bit of a nerd growing up on psychology stuff and science stuff. I really enjoy understanding like how human beings tick, what makes people motivated, what offends people, what excites people. And I think on a larger scale, I was interested in, like, whether it's macro or microeconomics, even what, for an example, like, I remember a book that I read called Nudge by Richard Thaler. He was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he talked about like opting in versus opting out when it comes to organ donors. So in one country, I don't remember the specifics, let's say in Germany or Switzerland, let's say Germany is automatically you're opted in. In Switzerland, you're automatically opted out of organ donors. But being an organ donor, so you would have to change it from opt out to opt in. And with Richard's thoughts of, what if you just made the opt-in policy in a country? Who's gonna not, want to be an organ donor if you're already opted in? So 90% of these people in this country are organ donors, whereas the country that didn't say opt-in, only like 10 or 20% are organ donors. So think about the difference. So I think growing up, like early high school, getting into college, I think decision-making, analytics, big picture stuff was fascinating to me. And I really enjoyed the economics, like the behavioral economics of, why does Sam want to get into real estate? Why does this Sam want to get into insurance? So I really like understanding motivations and psychology and upbringing and stuff. So that was always really interesting to me. And I think that my interest and curiosity in the development of human beings and passions, like if I could align that excitement around that idea into selling, I think that I could be proficient at it, because it means I can connect better with people. I can hear really interesting stories. And I would say in 6 years of selling insurance, like I've been blessed with learning so many cool life stories. So it's turned from kind of like on the macro level of, opt in, opt out, Richard Thaler stuff, maybe going down that path, to more, I'm just fascinated by each person that I meet and like, where did they come from? How did they get to where they are? And could I have any influence on where they're going to go? Could I help them within their plan? So I think I don't know what it exactly stemmed from. I just have always been fascinated by how people think and make their decisions. And then if I can be part of that decision to build their wealth, to protect themselves, to protect their family through insurance, it just aligned really, really well for what I'm interested in. So yeah, I would say sales has always been a thing, especially with my competitiveness. I've always been competitive. I've always wanted to win and be the best that I could be. So those two things I think have aligned well for insurance sales to be a really great thing for me to be a part of.
For sure. Yeah, I think that the thing that you and just what I've been able to see for your team, just not on the consumer side, but also just being here today, is that selling word comes from, I believe, a Latin word that means service or to serve. And there's never any high pressure here. You know, you're just like following up. I think following up gets a bad rap sometimes, but following up is just seeing if they're wanting to, you know, work with you today. That doesn't mean they're going to be ready today, but maybe in 2 years they are.
Yes.
And so I think coming from that aspect of being a service producer and, you know, informing the customer as much as you can on your product and service is something really cool that you're doing here.
Yeah,
So,
I appreciate that.
yeah, excited to see where you're headed. But tell me a little bit about the day in the life of Sam Herrick. What does that look like? I know you have 3 or 4 employees now.
Yeah, we have 3 full-timers,
Okay.
and then my wife and I, we work at the agency as well, and then we have 2 new interns hired right now, and we're looking for potentially 1 or 2 more, and hopefully those interns will develop, and we can get 1 or 2 of them to blossom into a full-timer to join a growing team.
Yeah.
So day in the life is you get into the systems, get into the computers early, and
Yeah.
see are there any headaches or big items that we need to address right away. And I really encourage my team. We use the phrase, and I use it with some of my State Farm buddies too. We use the term "eat the frog." So
Okay.
eat the frog. Yeah, do the annoying, frustrating stuff first.
Yeah.
And I live by that mantra, because if you let all these frogs start collecting on your desk, it gets really annoying, really burdensome quick. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm saying, what's like the worst item that I'm gonna have to acknowledge right away? What's the craziest claim or the most frustrated person? Like, what can I address today in the moment so I can make an impact on that, make a negative turn into a positive, and then once we get the mojo of the bad turn to the good, then we're just running hard. So yeah, we're starting off with team meetings. So every Wednesday we do like a high level, like a level 10 meeting. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but we're talking about where are we at for our scorecard and our metrics. Like, how are we doing on our production, on meeting our goals, and going over the annual, weekly and daily metrics that we're hunting for. So if we're doing really great on something like that, then let's double down on it and let's exceed those goals. If we're a little bit behind, what is Sam doing maybe poorly? What am I not holding myself accountable to? What is Lexi falling short on? Let's talk about it transparently as a team. And I think we built a culture where, like, if someone's having a bad day, week, or month, it's okay, because the effort that everyone puts in is 100%, and we know that peaks and valleys are going to happen. So I would say, like, ultimately with our culture, there's bad days and there's bad months of production, but everyone bounces back inevitably because we all have each other's backs and we know we're all giving 100%. So yeah, day in the life, you gotta eat the frog. You take your phone calls, you see what customers need you on a given day, and then we're purchasing leads. We are investing into our business pretty heavily to grow with really, really great customers, and we're just trying to find ideal clients that want to work with us and that we want to work with them. So that's a day in the life. I love giving back in any way that I can to my team, so I really like one-on-one meetings. I like seeing how we can develop them personally and professionally, and what are they struggling with? Where can I develop them and help out overall?
Yeah, I love the eat the frog. I've never heard that actually before, eat the frog, but I've heard of people saying, do the hardest thing you have first, because then everything's going to be easier the rest of the day. And I still get myself into that once in a while. You have 10 things to do, and you're like, well, I don't really want to call that disgruntled customer right away. I'll leave, and then it turns to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you still haven't done it. You're like, oh, well, I better do it.
I know.
Or as well, you just get it over in the morning, and the rest of the day's a breeze. Nothing can get worse than that. So
absolutely. Try not to get lost in the whirlwind. What we shoot for.
Yeah. Well, they're the real deal here. 9 auto policies today.
Yeah, we had a fun day.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We got a little update from Lexi, so it was good to see we got some new great customers. We're excited to help.
That is awesome.
Trying to stay busy, finish off November strong.
Hell yeah.
So
When kind of shifting gears a little bit, kind of a little more about kind of just your story.
Mhm.
When was the last time, personally or professionally, you were like, man, I just want to quit. I don't know why I'm doing this. And what made you continue to move forward? Because like what we were talking about earlier, I feel like you're super focused on your State Farm business right now, which is awesome. You're kind of saying no to everything else. I tried to get you into real estate a little bit, like pulling your arm, telling you all the great things.
Yeah.
No, I'm staying in insurance, which I think is great.
Yeah.
But when was the last time you really came up to a good challenge and you're like, I don't know if I want to go through with this? How do you respond to that?
Yeah. I mean, every day, for sure, every single day. There's moments where it's like the 9 auto kind of days where we're really thrilled. You know, we grew up with a business.
Getting
my team,
high.
yes, you ride the high, you experience it, you're excited about it, and then maybe the next 2 days there's no business written, or we lose some households, and those valleys. I think something I struggle with is I'm such a feeler
Yeah.
and an emotional person. I think so. When we're at a peak, I'm feeling it. Like you can really know that Sam's up. And then when I'm in a valley, you can feel that too. So I think it's a day-to-day battle of, man, this is tough. It's hard. It's hard to grow, hard to reinvest. So I don't have a specific moment in time. I would say it's a daily, weekly, monthly battle for me
Yeah.
of, this is a little bit of a harder day today. Like a little bit more negativity in the office or between claims or phone calls that were troublesome that we had to work through. And you got to put it all back into the business. That's something that you and I have talked about with our operations. So if things are tighter on a certain month where the paycheck wasn't as good as the payroll, you got to power through, trust, and just get to that next year of renewals. So I think it's a day-to-day battle, and like we're 3 years in now. January this coming year will be 3 years officially, and every day does get easier for sure within the business. So it's hard, and I don't think I could do it without faith, without my family, my friends, my State Farm brothers for sure. I mean, there's just some amazing agents that have poured out into me and supported me, and I've got that opportunity to give any office that these guys that I know and love, I can give them a phone call and, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. And I know they're going to take that phone call. We can talk through the issue, whether it's business, personal. We can bounce ideas off of each other. So I guess any encouragement that I could give to other people in a similar industry or different industry is, how's your circle of trust and influence? And do you have someone you can pick up on that bad day where you have just a bad business day or a bad personal day? You have someone that you can pick up the phone and call that you can trust. So that's how I kind of tolerate those bad days, is just focus on the next one and find your way into the good day.
For sure. How is that? I feel insurance is pretty competitive business. We talked about that a little before. Pretty sales heavy. Everyone knows 5 insurance agents. How is that relationship between you and other territories? Sounds like you guys are pretty close. And how did that come to be? I feel like that's not very regular or very common. And sharing ideas with your competitor.
I think it's a mindset of like-minded people that I've come to know they know that there's enough households and great people that want to do business with our organization. That even if I'm friends with people in Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Des Moines, what have you, they're going to go take care of their business. I'm going to go take care of mine. So it's okay if someone writes a household that we were potentially going to work with or talk to, because there's another few million people in our bank in Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So I'm very comfortable with the idea of, if I can expand my base with other people that are interested in expanding their base, and we can kind of like the iron sharpening iron idea. And if that's how we're going to get to the finish line together, I'd rather celebrate at the end with other people that are doing the same thing that I am, versus doing it alone, having a defensive assuming position versus being open.
Abundance mindset.
Yes, abundance over scarcity easily. So.
That's awesome. I feel like I don't hear about that as much as we should, especially in the business and the insurance and even real estate culture. People, rising tide lifts all ships. So that's pretty cool. Is that a State Farm, you think, culture, or just you being here, some good old Iowa boys, kind of growing up in the business?
Yeah,
As
to
well.
me, I mean, a little bit of both. I've been
Yeah.
blessed with some family in the business,
Yeah.
people, my uncles and cousins that recommended it. So they're some of my closest friends with the business, and some other folks that they've gotten to know in different cities. So definitely like the State Farm good neighbor approach is a real thing.
Yeah.
I have not had an experience where I pick up the phone and call an agency where that agent wouldn't either speak to me on the spot or call me back just to share good feedback and offer coaching to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's beyond State Farm. I just think you find the right business owner or right executive and entrepreneur that is willing to share how they feel about their own business, their mindset, their faith, whatever opinion or belief system that they're working towards. If it aligns with mine, I'm gonna ask them, and the worst thing that they can say is no.
Yeah. You talked a lot about the group of people you're around, having a good group of people. How has that group changed over the years from, you're a young guy like me, you just, a lot of life changes in the last decade of your life, probably the most you'll ever have, from being high school buddies to college to now married to having a kid to owning your own business.
Yeah.
How has that sphere changed for you over the last 10 years?
I think, when you're 17 or 18, you're talking about like high school sports and all that. And I'm 27 now, but the stage of life I'm in, like the joke that a lot of the other State Farm people say is like, I'm an old man. Like my buddies in high school, I'm kind of an old soul kind of persona. So I'm friends with people that are 5 or 10 years older than me, and it's very, very normal for me because that's just kind of the stage of life that I'm in right now. We're blessed with our daughter Charlotte when I was 23 or 24, and it was just life slapping me in the face. It's time to wake up and grow up, and that's the stage of life I'm in right now. So we're talking about mortgages and all that big stuff instead of high school sports now. It definitely flipped pretty quick, but I'm very grateful for the position I'm in. We're very good health, a lot of happiness in my life. So
Awesome.
I'm in a really good position.
Sweet, I love it. As far as any advice when you're kind of starting out in the business, was there anyone that kind of came over your shoulder and said, "Hey, Sam, this is what I've recommend doing at your age if I started all over again"?
Yeah.
Any words maybe to your younger self when you're starting at 23 again in the insurance business that you wish you would have known now?
To have patience.
Yeah.
Slow down. Breathe a little bit. It's gonna be okay.
Enjoy the good times.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I have a lot of people that are, again, that 5 or 10 years ahead of me, and I have definitely a guilt of comparing myself to them, imposter syndrome, like, man, they're getting it done at a really high level, what am I doing wrong? And that voice is very toxic, and it's no good for anybody. So I think that when you have to compare yourself to like last year's self. You can't compare yourself to a guy that's 10 years ahead of you doing it at a high level for a decade longer than you. It's a great guy to strive to be like and to hunt for and go for that path, but you can't just say today I need to be what that guy is now. Very unhealthy and toxic mentality. It's a great thing to shoot for. You can't let that be your one-to-one comparison. So again, that same group of people within State Farm, my family, my mom and dad, my sisters, my wife Mo, having my daughter Charlotte to be inspired by and like get up every day and just show up and get it done. But that was a huge motivator for me. It was just my family. It's sink or swim. We started from scratch. I have 0 clients on day 1 at 24. It's like you gotta figure it out. So it was really fun. It was just like there's no turning back. The name is on the wall, and you gotta get it going. So it was a beautiful journey that continues to be. Not without its trials and tribulations. Like we've had some hard days, hard months, and a lot of stress along the way. But every day is easier. Comparison
is the thief of joy, right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it is more relevant when you're first starting because you see XYZ's been in the business for 20 years and they're making all this sorts of money and they have all sorts of clients. And you're like, man, why can't I just do that? But then you don't really see the 20 years of not headache, but blood, sweat, and tears they put in the business to reach where they are now.
Easily.
So, I know faith is pretty close to you, Sam. Tell me how maybe that has impacted your business and how you reach out to people and what that looks like for you.
I'm really blessed with a network of people that are deep believers in Christ and, attending weekly mass and having Bible studies and things like that have been paramount to keeping me in a really good headspace for the business and for my family. And
Yeah.
if I ever have, I think my biggest, I would say, shortcoming within my faith is just controlling the business too much and controlling my life too much and having self-reliance instead of trusting in God. So I think my biggest battle is like giving that up to God and releasing that control and relinquishing it. So yeah, the faith piece is huge. I've got some really, really good State Farm buddies that are actively, in their faith communities. They have relationships with God, individual relationships. They have communal connections that are huge. And it's just one of those things that it's like, we're here on earth for a very short time, and beyond that, what are we hunting for and what are we shooting for? What's the purpose in that day-to-day stride? And if it's not for something beyond this short life on earth, I have a hard time conceptualizing the purpose of that. So I've been thinking much bigger around our eternity, our sanctity with God, and hopefully being with those that we've lost, some family members, friends, like just reuniting in heaven in that way. So been a huge part of it. I try to be as vocal as I can be about it in my business practice. I like to share it when I can. I like to open it up in conversation when I can, but I'm not perfect by any means, and have way more shortcomings than benefits in the faith department. But I'm striving every day, and I think for you on this podcast to bring it up is a huge thing. It's awesome because then any listener is thinking, oh, okay, guys can just talk like that. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, no worries. I think you're a lot more faithful than you think. It's just like taking that first step. That's, shows you're not just faithful in yourself, but a higher power. Like coming all the way back to Dubuque. Kind of, I know there's family involved, but it's pretty big risk, starting from nothing. Owning, putting money down for a storefront and just kind of betting on yourself. And having the courage to, put everything in reality. I know we shared some 3-year, 5-year, 10-year goals, and those are pretty sweet to think about. But having the faith to say them out loud, sharing with others, that's how, you've already done the hardest part. It's talking about them, visualizing them, and what else is faith than that?
Amen.
Saying something, it's going to happen before it does. And seeing it through.
Awesome.
And having a conviction behind it. So I think you gotta give yourself a lot of credit.
Thank you. I'd love to flip it on you just for a second for your audience, for you to share a minute. Do you have anything on, when it comes to your faith that you want to share, kind of the journey that you've experienced? I'd love for that opportunity on your platform. Yeah, for sure. Faith for me has been something that kind of a pendulum. Grew up going to church every single Sunday. And then kind of getting away from it in college and then coming back to it, I feel like is something that's been near to my heart recently, just getting back in the routine. And not even just showing up to church, being physical there, but just having a more intimate relationship with God. Like, yes, being around other believers is very important to me, but just having more of that one-on-one relationship with God, with just spending time with Him has been big for me these last couple years. And honestly, this is probably not the least I went to church, but a lot less than when I was growing up. And I've grown up a lot since, you're in high school or whatever. But just being able to spend more of that time with Him has been a big thing for me. Awesome. And get that one-on-one intimate relationship. I don't know if I knew it as much as I have now until this stage of my life, which is awesome. There's moments in life where you wake up to it and you realize it. It's like, all right, we gotta buckle down and figure this thing out a little. So. And it's just like God's joys show up in so many different ways. Like, I was just coming here actually this morning, and I stopped in a little town of New Hartford, I think. Got a coffee at some little restaurant. The people were piling in. It's 9 a.m. Coffee shop. I was like, man, it's a beautiful day. Lots to be grateful for. And just taking those moments and enjoying them. And we work hard. We put a lot into what we're doing, but you gotta appreciate the little moments. You do. Every single day. For sure, man. If Sam Herrick had a blank check and 12 months off, what problem would you go solve? What's near and dear to your heart? Maybe something you'd give back to? It's a great question. Blank check. I think I was talking about this with a friend here recently within State Farm, that our money isn't as hard to give away as our time. So I think if I was given that year, just the folks that are less fortunate and that haven't had the upbringing that I've been blessed with. So organizations that are around developing children in their confidence, mentorships, things like that. So I think financial literacy would be a huge piece. Confidence of just putting one step in front of the other, like having an actual path for young people to know where they're headed. So I think, mentorship within the youth, grade school, middle school, high school.
Just how money works.
Yeah, I think that'd be huge. And beyond the money piece, just like what's your purpose, what's your direction, how can you fulfill that? So I think starting up at a financial level would be very powerful. Teaching people how to save, get the emergency fund put together, and then of course expanding that into investing a little bit and get some money rolling into the markets. But I think that's a big thing for me is I've been so blessed. Like my background is ridiculous with support, family, like friendships, just people that have poured into me so much. I have so much left to give because I've been given so much that there's almost a guilt there because I recognize there's been some folks that haven't had that family, the two-parent home and things like that, great siblings. So since I'm blessed with those things, it feels silly to not be able to offer that to younger people. So any other business owners, high schoolers, college students that are looking for direction and purpose, even if it isn't for business purpose, just faith and getting that stride and step, like that's a phone call that I would always take. And if anyone ever reaches out about business stuff, it's always fun because I had so many people teach me the ropes, and anytime I could help them do the same thing that other people helped me do, very fulfilling. So business mentorship, financial literacy, providing purpose for young people to see if they can get out of the situation that they're in.
Well, you've been a great steward of what God has given you, I think. And God gives more people that can hang on to it more. So
thank you.
It's cool to see that, and it's the weight of owning a business and all the responsibilities is a lot more than you make it seem out to be. You're pretty casual, easygoing guy, but I think it's cool to just see you continue to grow from that first time we met at the gym to now. I always bring that up. That's pretty funny. But the home and like the people you're able to serve here, I know you kind of count it by policies, but every single person you reach is, that's their insurance. Something the worst day would happen, you're there to serve them. So that's pretty sweet.
Absolutely. It provides a lot of purpose to be able to be the person they're thinking of to give the phone call to if the bad day comes. And that's why I'm really intentional and probably more intense maybe than I should be sometimes with my team, because we have a job to do. You've got to do it right. You have to have the coverages right, and you have to present yourselves well when that individual calls for coverage or asks questions. So it is I think like a service-based job, and it's really fun because the opportunity to be there for that person on the tougher day is quite fulfilling, and you can do something about it instead of just letting it take care of themselves, and you can step in a little. So it's very fun, and it's been fun to watch my team kind of fall in love with it in the same way that I have.
Literally hundreds, thousands, millions dollars worth of property, auto, everything that you're there. You got the coverage.
I appreciate that.
That's awesome. What go back to a little more personal habits or beliefs. Are there any that you had to get rid of when you're first starting in order to take that first step on yourself? You talked about kind of burning the ships and coming here. I think that's obviously one, but are there any other habits that you have had to get rid of since your time starting until now?
I think a few different things. First of all, when I was a team member for Mark's office, I was always worried about being younger when I was selling. Like, I'm only 22. Like, why would they listen to me? Like, why would they buy insurance from me? And my cousins that are in the business dispelled that immediately. They said, look, dude, you sound 40. It's going to be okay. Like, you sound mature. Like, just have a good conversation. So I think the first thing, like, that kind of came back when I became an agent. It was a little bit scary because it's like, all right, it's my name on the wall. I got to represent myself well. Are people going to trust me? Like, those kind of doubts came through my head. And I think after a few hard months of just grinding and picking up the phone, introducing myself, I realized it wasn't a barrier that actually existed. It was just in my own head. So I'm I'm grateful for the people that have supported me. Some folks that I would never have suspected that would pick up the phone and think of me and call or walk into my office. It humbles me every time. It's like, oh my gosh, like, who would have thought, you know? So that's been one of the coolest joys of agency, has been just seeing who chooses to support me in my office and my family. It's a godsend. So that's been a huge mental block that I'm totally past. I'm beyond past that, and I have a young team, and all of them are confident enough to take care of the customer as if they were 40. So
Age is just a number.
Age is a number. That's right. Yep, that's big. So that, and then I think like when there's different levels of metrics, maybe put out from either my own agency or corporate, where it's, man, am I going to be able to do this number? Am I going to be able to do that number? Something I still struggle with is there's going to be a mental block somewhere, and you have to figure out where your ceiling is. And I know where mine is. I have a certain number where I get scared of it, and I say, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know if I deserve that.
Yes, absolutely. How can we get there? So I still struggle, and I have to work through those doubts. So that's been a struggle on like a very high number in my head for a certain auto count or life insurance count or whatever the item might be that we have. But we hunt for it, and we try to just plow through that mental block and just show up day by day and have the right daily activities and habits that we just get it done.
Yeah. Takes practice and dedication and showing up every day to get through those mental blocks too. You know, it's not like you're just gonna one day rewire your brain how you think or know what you know. Our income is a reflection of who we are, and to some point, you know, not maybe personally or being nice or kind, but it is somewhat a reflection of what we're capable of. Not saying that money's everything, but me too, you know, like thinking back of when I was 12 years old and working for X amount, that's what I valued my time at. And so continuing to evolve in that space, not because you're greedy or wanting more, but you're adding more value to your people and your customers, your team. And so it's just continuing to delegate, add more value, continue to work on bigger and bigger things. Like, I think it's super cool how you're able to have this sweet culture with your team. That's one thing we kind of talked about before, is just everything you're dumping into these individuals. And then just the effect it has not just on your community, but their livelihoods and personalities. I think it's just sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the best part about the job.
Yeah.
It can be the hardest part though about the job, or the best part about the job, and typically it's both.
Yeah.
But I have
5 applicants this year.
Absolutely. We've had our fair share of folks that have worked out and haven't worked out, and
I think that's everyone.
Yeah, we have a high bar that we set, and it's not right for everybody here. Definitely not.
For sure. I love it. Kind of worked through a lot of it. We've been talking for about 4 or 5 hours, my friend. So I'm kind of running out of questions.
That's okay.
We've been through all of it, but we do a lightning round at the end of every podcast.
Fun.
3 same questions to every guest. First one: what's your favorite book or podcast you'd recommend to somebody?
I would say I really, really enjoy Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Yep.
A negotiation book. He's an FBI hostage negotiator or ex-negotiator, and he's actually from Mount Pleasant, Iowa, which is kind of
I didn't know that.
really fun fact.
That is cool.
Went to Iowa State and all that, so he's brilliant. So some of that stuff was huge for me as I developed kind of the salesmanship of how do you sound on the phones, how are you handling maybe someone that's a little bit more frustrated, how can you keep it very positive and understand where they're coming from perspective-wise. So that would be a book, like a sales book, that I would really recommend.
That's a good one.
That's really, really good. Think and Grow Rich, really great one. Very good. Just like how to get your buying right and really bust through that glass ceiling that I was talking about that I still totally have for a day-to-day basis. Just how to get your mind right, truly believe that the results are going to come. That's another really good one. Love podcasts, sales podcasts, business podcasts. I'm trying to think of a favorite one or two. I think Alex Hormozy puts out some good stuff. Chris Williamson. I like, on the spiritual side, like Father Mike Schmitz is really good. He has great homilies that are 20 or 30 minutes that are awesome. Just a good start to your Sunday. I could give you another list of probably 20, so I could send that out.
We'll put them in the comments.
You should, yeah, I will. I will. But I love to read. I love to listen to all things audiobooks, podcasts, and so on. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Next question here. What's something people often get wrong about your industry?
I think probably like people's intentions within insurance.
Okay.
You've got good apples and bad apples in every industry.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like specifically within the State Farm culture, I've observed just an amazing amount of benevolence and seeing happiness for other people when they do well. So I think on the customer facing side, like the reason we're proposing a higher limit or a certain line of coverage is we truly believe it's the right thing for you to take care of your family.
Yeah.
And I think maybe like insurance sales and car sales gets lumped into the same bit, and there's good apples and bad apples, I'm not denying it. But yeah, like if you work with a really great agent that's engaged in their business, they're picking up the phone and calling you when there's an issue, it's because we care. It's because we love what we do and we want to be a part of your planning.
For sure. I love it.
Yeah.
What's last question here? What's one underrated skill that's helped you win?
It's a great question. So something I do is a little bit weird, kind of a journaling thing I do every morning that I love to share with you.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
Basically what I do is, so it's November 13th or 14th, I don't even know the day.
It's a Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday, let's call it the 14th. And so what I do is I journal from the perspective of the end of the month, as if the month has already gone down and happened. So I'll say, it's November 30th.
Yeah.
We have accomplished our X amount of applications. Lexi, Nathan, and Bella accomplished this.
Yeah.
And I kind of lay out like what I essentially just reverse engineer what I wanted the month to look like.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big piece of kind of rewiring your mind.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll write down what our goals were as if they've already happened. I express some gratitude for some of the things that I have and with my family and my life and so on. And so express gratitude. Truly believe that the things that you're gonna accomplish are gonna happen because your future self has told you.
Yep.
So I learned that from a podcast. It's $1 Million Roundtable.
Okay.
It's a financial services podcast, and it's a guy that is very goal oriented, and it's just his way of rewiring his mind to getting those doubts out of there. So yeah, journal from your future self and just a few sentences. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it's just a great way to start the morning and get your goals on track and remind you where we at and where do we have to be.
You do that every morning then?
Yeah.
So like on the 29th, you'll talk about tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Today's the 30th.
Yeah.
I remember yesterday, the 29th, we did this, and this, and we fell short by this amount the week before, so we got to pick this slack up.
Cool.
So yeah, you just kind of talk to yourself and get it all dumped on paper a little.
Yeah.
Again, a little bit weird, goofy thing, but I learned from this guy that does very well in that industry, and I thought it'd be a cool little mental trick because again, that mental block is real, and I think every salesperson struggles with that, including me. So how do you bust through that?
For sure.
That objection in your own mind of what your doubts are.
Well, I think it's the first step for actually seeing it and believing it. Like, it's one thing to have a thought of like having a thought of what your life will look like or what you want it to look like, and I think that's very powerful. But I think it's Joe Dispenza. Have you heard of him? He's like almost a knockoff of Think and Grow Rich.
Sure.
But he's like almost a little more hippie about it. Yeah. Is the best way I put it. But he's big into that, and he says writing it down or saying it is like 100 times more effective than the thought.
Yes.
So the thought is very powerful, and that's how it all begins. Like the subconscious mind, that's where it starts. But I think, like what you said, writing it down every single day, that just brings, it into reality.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that idea. The day that I have those doubts, the thing doesn't happen. It just doesn't get done. So if I can unlock that piece of my mind and get those doubts out of there, just think that it's going to happen with the confidence in my heart and truly have the faith that it will, drive the results for the team, take good care of them, encourage them to get it done. Typically we get pretty darn close to what we're shooting for. We do fall short plenty of times. But you just try to make your goals bigger and bigger and get the team bigger and bigger to reach them. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on here, Sam. I really appreciate it. This is fun. This is a great day.
It's been so fun.
We'll have to do it more often.
I would love to. I'll visit you in Ames next time.
Hell yeah. Where can people find you if they want to reach out about insurance or
Yeah.
just get to know a little bit more about you and yourself personally?
Absolutely. So we have fun on social media.
Okay.
Lots of goofing around. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So just look up Sam Herrick. You'll find us.
Cool.
Find us on all those for our State Farm page. And you can find us there. Watch our team, have some fun, do some skits and some memes, and have a great time. Try to keep it light there. And then you can just find us on Google and call our office and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching, you guys.